Hey everybody, Samwise here, and today we're talking about spiritual baths and bath meditations, bath magic. I love baths. I think they're really precious medicine, especially in this time of drought, and really wanting to honor this water is sacred and precious, and it's a kind of medicine that I really lean on in times of difficult body sensations or just needing some time and space to process and be with my own thoughts and feelings and well-being. And I wanted to share some strategies and some ideas about how to create a spiritual bath for yourself. Step number 1, find a nice bathtub like that. We've been here for about a month, and it's been so healing to be here. There's 2 bathtubs, and it's been an interesting thing, kind of holding the pieces around that we are in a drought, and also like honoring my body's needs and the preciousness of this time, and being able to get this healing that I've been really wanting and needing throughout the pandemic. We haven't had a bathtub the whole time that we've been in a pandemic, and this is the first time that in a couple of years that I've had access to a bathtub. So I'm really grateful for this healing, and also again holding that piece around that this water is precious and not as abundant as it has been in the past, and that's climate chaos and capitalism and racial capitalism and colonialization, and that's all here. So just kind of being with all of that, and being with the reverence of water and how it sits in my body, and helps me remember my body and remember my aliveness and my embodiment, so that I can more deeply attune to myself and my own pain and grief, and be able to metabolize that, so that I am more able to attune and be present with the grief of and pain of others in the world, and just really feel like the nourishment of being held by warm water or cold water. And I really like that there's 2 bathtubs here, and so yes, like in abundant times, being able to fill them with one with warm water and one with cold water, and then to move between them. And that's something that feels really deeply ancestral for me, and also the peoples of this land, the Pomo, and all the many indigenous communities that know the power of healing water. I'm not sure if that's universal, but I would say that's very widely embraced, that moving between hot water and cold water, because the hot water, I'll speak from my own lineages, in some like Germanic and Celtic lineages, there's this lore of the waters of life and the waters of death. And the lore goes like people went to these waters for healing, and sometimes even when they were dead, to be like reanimated. And you need both. That's the key about the waters of life and death, is that you can't just have one or the other. It's not complete enough. And so the waters, I've been thinking about that with these 2 tubs, right? One with cold water, which we leave, and we don't fill it all that often, but when we do fill it, we leave it because we want to conserve as much water as possible. And so it's cold, and sometimes little buggies here and there will have slipped in and have died. And then it's like, and thinking about like essences of beings, then it becomes this like essence of bug death, which I kind of fish out from time to time, but I like that, and thinking about like, in this lore of like the waters of death are often cold and still, and they remember, so they put bodies and beings and spirits back together, which is interesting because cold water is contracting, right? Like it's like it tightens, and it's pulling literally back together, whereas the waters of life are moving, and and this one, the one that's closest to me, we refill more often to keep it when we want to have hot water. And so it's moving, it's hot, and it's relaxing, right? So it's like that out breath and like expanding with heat. And we need both, the contraction and the release, the life and the death and the rebirth. And I was recently talking with my friend and patron and student and comrade in learning, Lo, about their ancestral experience and their like traditional knowledge around always ending with cold water, so that you step out of the bathing experience with a foot into rebirth and not into, and that's like contraction and kind of like holding in your energy and like closing your pores, like literally like kind of closing yourself so you hold that vitality in your being as you transition to the next thing that you're doing. And so yeah, if you have the ability, and you may not have 2 bathtubs, and that's okay, but the way that I might do that if I were in my home space with a singular bathtub, would be to have the water filled with, the base of the bathtub filled with warm water, and then use the shower as a cold plunge, like turning on the shower periodically to stand, or whatever works for your body, or like a glass of water, like cold water over your head, to get that experience of the back and the forth, which is very revitalizing. And something else that I really like to do is to bathe with plants. And I really encourage folks to try bathing with like one plant at a time to really get a sense of that energy, because it's like, if you're into flower essences, or you think about using flower essences, it's the energy of a flower preserved in water. And so the bath is like an opportunity to bathe in a giant flower essence. So I've been really enjoying over the course of this summer to bathe with one plant at a time, and really get a sense of like each plant's kind of individual character. Like lavender is really amazing for like after a fight, or like after like a heavily boundaried situation, and that felt really like, it actually felt really like masculine and like vital and like a warrior's plant to me. And like bachelor button, which there's a bunch of bachelor button, I don't know if you can see it over there with some cow poppy, which I love the blue and the orange. The bachelor button was really about just like celebrating one's true essence, and like the flower essences typically talked about as like uniqueness, and I found that to be true. And then yarrow, oh my god, yarrow was like so witchy and so divine and so just holding and like healing and reintegrating of my own body's energy. And then rose, which is the one that I've spent the most time with this past month, was luxurious and deep and expansive and sensual and opening and holding and boundaried. And so I have a little bit of rose today for today's bath. It is from our dear friends and patron, Mega Star Vega, and and Sage brought this up from their current home space, and it's some beautiful pink rose. And something that I like to do with baths with a single plant is to put, because you don't need too much. I mean, you can totally like fill your bath with flowers, and that's really cool. And there's something also really powerful with less is more. And so what I like to do is with each petal or each like individual plant, so I have like a rose petal, like so with each plant piece that I'm adding, to put in an intention. And so this bath is full. It's at the temperature I desire. And I'm going to think about some intentions that I want to bathe with. And so for this one, I'm going to put in presence. And so I'm going to add that into the bath. And I'm going to think about joy. and well-being and friendship and fortitude for so much change that's happening. They're so soft. They're San Francisco roses. They're not as waxy as the Sonoma, like, County Trout roses. They're so soft. And, yeah, oh yeah, this one. For, just beauty. Just reveling in the beauty and, like, seeing the beauty amidst grief. So, and there's 5, which is a very magical number in my lineage. And so it looks like this, which is nice and easy to fish out when you have to drain your bath. I also really recommend those little mesh sink catches if you have that for your bathtub. You can even put it over the whole thing if it doesn't like sit into your tub drain, to make bathing with plants easier and more joyful and less like worrisome about things getting stuck in the drain. But yeah, that's a really beautifully like held container for a bath that I will now take. And yeah, I'm wishing everybody like ease and joy and nourishment in these times that can be so chaotic. And I know a lot of people are moving, a lot of people are experiencing really deep changes and experiencing loss. And Rose, again, is another great one for remembering the beauty amidst change and loss and holding space for all aspects of that experience, even the rebirth that comes from the other side of the death, like the pools of death or the water of death. And so, yeah, another nice practice I like to use sometimes, but not always, is to sit in the bath until I have had my experience, and then as I drain the bath water, to imagine everything that I want to let go of leaving my body and my being as I witness the water leaving the tub. So that's another way you can do it. So I hope that's helpful for you. I hope that's an enjoyable experience for folks and a way to experience meditation. There's lots of ways to meditate, and this is one of my favorite. Blessings to the water, blessing to the people of this land and the spirits of this land and the plant animal energy and the animal energy, and big gratitude for this water. So with that, I'm gonna enjoy my bath. I hope you do too. It's hot. Oh yeah. And I'm now on sabbatical, so I'll see everybody in a couple of months, and I'll be back at it in October. And until then, sending you lots of love and big gratitude and healing in these times. So with that, I'll leave you with the goddess we have here of bath energy, and I'll see you soon.